Tunneling. I'm John Fox.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
You're listening to Rochester, Indiana's #1 podcast, Tan and J-Man Show, featuring Josh Munt and Tanner Lee.
You're listening to episode 73 of the Tan and J-Man Show, sponsored as always by Fraunfelter Dental Clinic. It's a family-owned dental clinic that offers laser whitening and dentistry, along with braces, implants, and your typical teeth cleanings. Go see Dr. Bill or Dr. DJ Fraunfelter today for all
This
your
is Travis Watry with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
Like them on Facebook and check out their website, stateoftheartsmile.com. That was pretty good, too.
Yeah, good intro there, J-Man.
Yeah, it's all in my
You nailed it.
all in my head.
Repetition.
Repetition. Yes.
What's going on?
Nothing, man. It's so freaking cold. It's April 10th.
It's canceling baseball games for you.
For snow, yes. That really kind of peeved me a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I kind of advertised Cubs talk, which I'm sure you'll have some, but I thought we were going to talk about their
the good thing
home opener.
The good thing is it will warm up.
It has to.
Thursday and Friday. It's supposed to be at least in the 70s here, low 70s, and in Wrigleyville.
I sure hope it is.
That's a good, probably 10 degrees cooler if the lake breeze is blowing in.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Got some Birdie Bogey with you? Because,
Excuse me.
you know, a fantastic theme featuring, since we're going to be talking some Masters.
Yes, I do not have a Masters.
No,
question.
but I'm just saying Birdie Bogey in general.
Oh, yes, because birdie
related.
and a bogey is a golf term,
Yep.
so that would make plenty of sense.
Yep.
Your favorite player in the NBA is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, he's
Denver
not
Nuggets.
I don't know he's my favorite. I just think he's
he's
very
your favorite.
underrated. Okay.
He is very underrated. He recorded on Saturday his 15th career triple-double, which is the most all-time by a foreign-born player. Who did he pass? I'll even give you a few hints later on if you can.
I saw it on Twitter and I don't remember. I
Yes.
saw this exact question. I don't remember because Ben Simmons is right behind him.
Yeah, Ben Simmons, crazily, is third.
He's 12.
He's from Australia. Put another shrimp on the bobby.
Yep, I saw it on Twitter and it's blanking my mind. This
I'm
is
not
making
going to
me
give
mad.
you a hint now, though.
It's making me mad. Oh well. I thought I knew and
Kind of makes me mad that you saw it because
Well,
that usually doesn't. It's usually not the case.
Usually, even if I saw it, I still get most of them wrong. I wonder what my overall score is. It's over par for sure, but
I'm not sure. You better not be looking on your phone right now.
no,
you
I
son
am.
of a gun.
I'm getting something else up here on the phone. I'm getting a little Masters thing right
There you
here.
go.
You ignoramus. So, like we mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking some Masters. Patrick Reed was a winner of this year's Masters. So let's get right into that, shall we? Let's play a little clip here.
Yes, it will. Captain America captures Augusta. As the Imagine Dragons would say, welcome to the new age, to the new age. Wow, what an incredible week. You've got to admire right from that first shot, Jim, when he ended up behind the tree at #1. What an incredible day's golf.
So his favorite band is Imagine Dragons. Did I read that right?
I guess it must have, because I did not know where Nick Faldo was going with
Yeah.
that. Welcome to the new age. Welcome to the new age.
I actually saw it on Twitter yesterday that he likes Imagine Dragons. So that kind of makes me lose all respect for him because I think they're really bad.
You just joined a club with most of America that doesn't respect Patrick Reed until it's Ryder Cup time.
Dude, as I put on Twitter, I'm a lifelong Patrick Reed fan. I was
lifelong.
more proud of him. Lifelong Patrick
You know what's
Reed
impressive
fan.
about that? He's 27.
Yeah, so
You're 26.
I mean-
Lifelong. That's impressive.
yeah, that is impressive because he's older than me. So
Yeah.
And I was as proud of him as I could be my own son if he won the Masters. So pretty happy for Captain America.
That's saying something right there.
And last week, my book it was a first-time major winner would win the Masters, and sure enough,
Got it.
Yeah, I'm on a little bit of a roll.
You were safe going into when Patrick was heading into 18 because you're going to be Patrick or Ricky. You were safe either way. You just couldn't have Jordan come back and win, which he darn near tried.
Yeah.
Man, when his putter's going, when Jordan Spieth's putter's going, he's almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many people who can beat him on tour when his putter's going. I'm not even a Jordan Spieth fan, and I got to admit that was pretty impressive. Disappointed for Ricky. So close yet again. Finally got a single second in a major. He always ties for second, but he got solo second, not single, solo second. One shot behind. I would have really been interested to see what would happen if Reed would have bogeyed and would have went into the playoff. I think Fowler could have got him. He played really strong in the back nine. Front nine kind of just grinded through it, but I think his game's in a good place going ahead and to Shinnecock Hills here in 2 months in June for the U.S. Open. So, he's got 3 more tries at a major this year. I think he's felt pretty good about his chances. But, I don't know, Augusta's one place he seems to play really good at, and sometimes not all the other places. But I don't want to take anything away from Patrick Reed. I mean, the guy shot 3 rounds in the 60s, and then he shot a 71 yesterday. He didn't have his A game, but he had enough to do what he needed to do. A lot of people, including myself on Saturday night, thought McIlroy would get him the next day. I thought Rory's round turned upside down, starting with hole 2 when he missed a 6-foot eagle putt, which would have tied him for the lead at the time. He just never seemed to recover from that. Rory, for as good a golfer as he is, as much kind of trash talk he talks. And I like Rory. This is kind of going off track here, but the other night I put my top 5 players who I wanted to win the Masters, and those are my top 5 golfers in order. Ricky Fowler 1, Phil Mickelson 2, Rory McIlroy 3, Patrick Reed 4, Bryson DeChambeau 5. So I really enjoyed this Masters. But going back for how much trash Rory talks, for how much skill he has, he's not a good putter. He's got to get better at putting, or he's not going to win too many big tournaments. And, you look back in 2014 when he won the PGA of Valhalla, that was his 4th major then. Everybody was talking, he's going to win as many as Tiger. 4 years later, he hasn't won one since. And then they thought maybe if he could get the Masters yesterday, he could still get to double digits. But I don't know. He's 28 years old.
He's had some injury issues, too.
He's had some injury issues. And for whatever reason, that's twice now he's been in the final group at Augusta heading into Sunday and just collapsed. I don't know. But before I talk more about Patrick Reed, Tiger Woods made the cut. We both thought he'd make the cut. Didn't play as well as either of us thought.
I'd had him in the top 15, I believe.
Yeah, I had him in the top 25, and he didn't get either. Phil Mickelson was my pick to win. He made the cut, but he wasn't anywhere close, even though he played really well yesterday with 67. I want to give a shout out to Tony Finau for finishing in the top 10 after dislocating his ankle during the par 3 contest on Wednesday after getting a hole 1. Some people didn't even think he could play. Tees it up, fights through the pain, got top 10. So pretty impressive there. Overall, pretty fun tournament. Pretty much all the big names except Jason Duffner, for the most part, made the cut. Highest rated Master since 2015 and highest viewed digitally ever.
The Tiger effect.
Yeah, but you got to think Tiger ended his round so early yesterday. A lot of people could have shut it off, but I think Jordan helped with coming from behind. McIlroy was in the hunt. Ricky was in the hunt. Even Patrick Reed. But I think the crowd was more for all those other 3 guys I mentioned instead of Patrick, which is interesting because he's from Augusta. Originally went to Georgia, got kicked out of there for some he got accused of cheating on the golf course by some of his teammates. He didn't get along with his teammates. He also had a DUI or public intox or a DUI as a freshman. Then he went to Augusta State, where he was a 2-time national champion. There his team was. And interesting little fact about him, it's actually kind of sad. I didn't know it until I read this morning. He has had nothing to do with his sister or his parents since 2012. They have not spoken 6 years.
That's sad.
They are not allowed to go to his golf tournaments. If they go and security sees them, they will be taken off the course.
Wow.
They tried to go watch him in the U.S. Open in 2014, and coming up a whole 18, they were surrounded by security who were asked to escort them by his wife.
That's sad.
And this is all just coming from one side of the story. They won't go into detail even on their side what causes conflict. Patrick says no comment on it. They asked Patrick something about how does he feel yesterday, or was it a bittersweet winning there without his parents? And he said he was just focused on playing golf. That was his answer to it. He's got something to do with his wife and his wife's side. And one story said it was because they didn't accept his wife. They did not want him to marry his wife. So I'm really not sure, but he's got nothing to do with them. It's all about his wife and her family now. I mean, his brother-in-law's on the bag caddying for him. She used to caddy for him. And he's done a lot of stuff. He's kind of a controversial figure, really, in golf. I mean, he won a few years ago. It was like his second win. And he called himself a top 5 player in the world at the time. And nobody even knew who he was. But that's just the kind of guy he is. Patrick has a ton of confidence. I mean, look, he's awesome in the Ryder Cup. Only lost one match in the Ryder Cup. That's why it surprised me. He had never really done good in majors until last year in the PGA when he got second. And this being a course so close to his house in Augusta. But he finally got it done. Yep. I mean, I think his best finish before then, and the Masters was tied for 22nd or something. But I like Patrick. He's, like I said, my 4th favorite golfer. Not huge on his personality, but I like the way he plays. He grinds. That's what he did this week, especially yesterday. He just grinds. Made a huge putt on 17. He's just a competitor, and he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of in a way golf's villain, the villain golf needs. But yeah, I wasn't too mad about him winning.
Every sport needs a good villain.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm sure he's got a lot of fans. It was weird. It was being in Augusta, and they just didn't seem too happy that he won. But thought he played well. Now I'm interested to see if this is going to boost his career or not, because it probably will. Or it could be like David Duval, who won a British Open in 2001 and never won again. And that was his 14th or 15th win of his career at the time. He was ranked number 1 in the world and just never won again. Now he's a Golf Channel analyst, really good one, but he just never found his game. So it'll be interesting. Patrick's only 27 years old. Now all 4 of the last major winners are 27 or younger. Patrick Reed, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, and Brooks Koepka. So golf is a young man's game. Yep. Definitely a young man's game. But
speaking of Ricky, what major do you think he has the best chance at winning this season?
Well, now since there's only 3 left, I would have said the Masters coming in. I got to go British Open. I don't even know what course it's at, but it's got to be windy. He plays pretty good in the wind. He's been in contention in all of them, but I would say the British Open. And, he's a player I look at. He's got too much talent not to win one, and especially sooner rather than later. But I don't know if he'll win multiple of them. At one time in his career, I thought he'd win multiple majors. And he's only 29. Golfers play till they're in their 50s anymore on PGA Tour. And it's just so much more competitive than it used to be. Right. I mean, he played great this week. Just a guy played better. That's what happens to him a lot of times, and it is frustrating. But he played so much better this week, especially this weekend, than he did last week. And so that's a good sign going forward, I think. But still real optimistic. He likes the big moment. Made the big putt on 18, the birdie. So I'm real excited to see where his game's going. Now, as a golf fan, kind of get a little break now. Then the Players is in May. Then you got the U.S. Open in June, British in July, PGA in August, then the playoffs, which I think changes next year. The Players is moving back to March. Then you have the Masters in April. PGA is moving from August to May. Okay. So you have PGA, then U.S. Open, then British, and then the playoffs are starting in August, so they don't interfere with the NFL. Ryder Cup and President's Cup still will, but
give your major winners. The rest of the majors, who wins them?
Wow.
Putting you on the spot.
On April 9th.
Yes. And of course, your predictions will change.
Absolutely. But the odds came out for the U.S. Open today, and Spieth, McIlroy, and Dustin Johnson are all tied for first. And then it goes Justin Thomas, and then I think Jason Day and Ricky, Tiger and Phil are still a little ways back. It's at Shinnecock Hills. I don't know too much about it. I know Nick Price won there a while back when it was there. Retief Goosen won there the last time it was there. Phil Mickelson got second. Oh, man. I don't even know anything about the course.
Where's it at? You don't know? Sounds like it's in New York.
I think it is in New York. I'm going to go just out on a limb. And I will say the U.S. Open winner is Dustin Johnson.
Speaking of Dustin Johnson, where did he end up?
He made the cut. He might have got tied for 10th.
It's kind of, top 10 finish is pretty good. But after falling downstairs last year and not being able to play in it,
he kind of just couldn't put it together all in one swift kick. But Ricky got second yesterday. He made over $1 million for second place finish yesterday.
Not too shabby.
So, I'll go with Ricky and the British. And then the PGA's at a course down in St. Louis. I'm too lazy to look it up right now, and I can't remember off the top of my head.
I hate that city.
PGA's usually not always won by players who are always at the top. I'll go with John Rahm.
John Rahm?
Don't like him. I think he's a baby. He's only 23. His body language is terrible.
I
throws a fit.
He about snapped the club over his knee yesterday.
Yeah.
You see that?
He throws a fit all the time. I'm not big on him, but he's got a ton of talent, ton of skill.
And
so I'll go with him.
He was like 10 under, too. And he hit a bad shot that it really wasn't even that bad of a shot.
I knew he wasn't ready to win on a big stage.
Yeah.
He only got close because of his mental game. That's one thing. Our buddy of the show, Aaron Lynch, we were texting earlier, and he said one thing he respects about Ricky so much is bad shot, good shot, doesn't matter. He just puts his head down, goes to the next shot. Even when he does good stuff, he rarely fist pumps. He just keeps his emotions in check.
His birdie on 18, I thought he'd do a fist bump knowing where he is, but he didn't.
His dad did.
Yeah.
His dad did, but
picked up the ball and went and launched.
He's just pretty calm, cool, and collected. And some guys are like Patrick Reed and Roy McIlroy is so positive and negative, and John Robb's negative.
Spieth's body language isn't always the greatest.
He can get whiny, but he gets pumped too when stuff goes in. Tiger's body language is awful. Mickelson's is usually pretty good, but there's definitely some guys. If you can keep your cool out there, it helps you. Helps you a bunch.
You don't play golf good when you're mad.
No,
usually.
No.
You would know because you're usually mad quite a bit at yourself.
And I'm getting better as I get older. I'd like to think in high school I was a hothead, so I like to think I'm getting better as I get older. But ask my playing partners, maybe I'm not. So. I got one more golf note I saw earlier today. I thought was pretty interesting, and then we'll move on and talk some baseball. After yesterday, this is the all-time career on-course earnings. So all-time. Tiger Woods is number one with $121.7 million just from winning golf.
I was going to say, how much
stupid amount
money did he make?
Phil Mickelson, who makes a ton of endorsements, $92.8 million. Third is Vijay Singh, $76.2 million. Fourth is Jim Furyk, $69.8 million.
Is he the John Gross lookalike?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Ernie Els, the Big Easy's 5 at $65.8 million. Here was a shocker for me. Justin Rose is 6th, $57.8 million, and Rory McIlroy is 7th at $57.6 million.
Wow, it's a lot of money.
And you got to think right away. Well, where's Arnold and Jack? Those guys didn't make anything back then. They made about $1 million or $2 million all time in their career for winnings.
It's like that in every sport. Babe Ruth made like $400,000 in his career.
It's just unbelievable. It's a long time ago when Phil was starting, he said, "I wonder if eventually we'll get to where the winner wins $1 million." And now it's every single tournament is at least $1 million. So it's pretty incredible. But fun Masters overall for a golf fan or non-golf fans. I think everybody could really enjoy it. And already looking forward to the players next month. But until then, it's not. I mean, this week it's down in South Carolina, so for Harbor Town. So it's not that exciting of a tournament, but still a few big names playing in it. But you got any other thoughts on the Masters?
Nope. To be completely honest, I am a major golf watcher only. That's
the way a lot of people are, so it's no problem. And I just laughed today because guys on the radio were trying to say this was one of the worst Masters ever ratings-wise. And then you read when the facts came out today. You guys are wrong.
You don't hear national guys talk golf except one day a year, really. Or one weekend a year.
So Masters Sunday is usually something pretty special, and it delivered this year. So let's talk baseball. You got your Cubs sweatshirt on. So
I always have my Cubs sweatshirt on.
Let's talk a little Chicago Cubs baseball.
Since you're cutting this out, I could just how do I know if it's even on me?
Minimize that real quick.
Oh shoot! Yeah, there it is. The Cubbies. Last week, when we did the podcast on, was it Tuesday night I think it was Tuesday night. They were in the midst of they lost. Of course, they only played 5 games, and they lost 3 of those 5 to 2 really trash franchises, the Marlins and the Cincinnati Reds. Then they had a big 4-game series up in Milwaukee starting Thursday, and they took 3 of 4, played pretty well. It was always nice to win a series on the road against a division opponent. And the Milwaukee Brewers talked a lot of trash in the offseason. Even when this series tickets went on sale, they said you had to have a Wisconsin address only to buy them. And so that
up until 3 days before the game.
Yes. So that pissed a lot of Cubs fans off. And there's a lot of Cubs fans live in Wisconsin. You know, they call Milwaukee Chicago's northernmost suburb. So
Wrigley North.
Yes, it was almost, I would say, close to 50-50. And so 50-50 fans split. It was really loud when the Cubs did something good, which they did quite a bit over the weekend. And I put on Twitter after they won yesterday a GIF, and it said maybe the Brewers shouldn't have talked so much trash. And that GIF, for a little bit of context, is Omar Little. He was a character on one of my favorite shows ever, The Wire. He's a drug kingpin who they called pretty much the king of Baltimore. And he survived an assassination attempt in the show. And when he was going to exact revenge, he said, "You come at the king, you best not miss." Brewers came hard at the NL Central King, and they missed in their first attempt. They committed 7 errors in the 4-game series, which was the equal amount of their runs they scored. They only scored 7 runs. Cubs are pitching really, really well. Got 4 good starts over the weekend. Kyle Hendricks kind of had a little bit of a blip on Friday night, and it was really just one bad inning. He gave up 2 2-run homers, and I think the 5th inning one to Eric Thames and one to Travis Shaw. But other than that, he was pretty solid. But John Lester, Yu Darvish, and Jose Quintana combined for 18 innings and only gave up 1 run with a bunch of strikeouts and very few walks. They're pitching really well. The Cubs bullpen right now is the best in baseball. They have the best ERA out of the bullpen in baseball, 0.92. Couple of their big offseason acquisitions, Brandon Morrow and Steven Cishek, have been a big part of it. Steven Cishek has been their workhorse so far. At one time, he was leading the Cubs relievers in innings. I know it's probably Eddie Butler because he threw 7 innings in Miami in the 17 inning game. But he's been great. Brandon Morrow finally got an opportunity to pitch the past 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, and he got 2 saves against the heart of the order. He looked really good. He's throwing 96 to 98, throwing a ton of strikes. Made Ryan Braun look stupid twice, actually, which is always fun because Ryan Braun is a douche nozzle, as I like to call him. They played 3 of these games without Anthony Rizzo. Every year, it seems like he's had back issues where he's had to miss a few games. Hopefully, he'll be back tomorrow. He wasn't slated to be in the lineup today. Of course, it was snowed out. So hopefully he's back in the lineup tomorrow. But with it being really cold, that's not good for your back. So wouldn't be surprised if they wait till maybe Thursday when it warms up to get him back in there. They need him back in there, though. Victor Caratini played first and held his own. I know Zobrist was slated to be in the lineup at first today. They are the worst team in baseball right now at scoring runners from third base with less than 2 outs. It's been a problem, really, since the start of 2015. So far this year, of course, it's only 9 games. Their success rate is only 13% at scoring guys from third with less than 2 outs. Next closest team is 37%, I believe. So that really needs to go up. A lot of it has to do with how much they swing and miss. Kyle Schwarber looks like the exact same hitter he did in the first half last year. He's swinging through a ton of stuff. They're just attacking him. High fastballs at 93 to 95, and he can't catch up. And he's been patient to his credit, but, I mean, he's just not getting it done right now. And Ian Happ, besides the first pitch of the year, which he hit out, he only has 3 hits since, and he's striking out in 60% of his plate appearances.
This is probably a dumb question, but you put me on the spot with the majors question, so I'm doing it to you.
Yes.
Say Schwarber has a bad year this year. Do they stick with him, stay patient with him, or do they look to maybe shop him? I mean, I'm talking like really bad.
Yeah. That's a tough question to answer because I know the front office loves him. He's a good clubhouse guy, good in the locker room. Everyone loves him. He works his tail off. Just hope and pray he has a good year this year so we don't have to find out because his value is not very high because he's bad out there and left. He's pretty much a DH only, and I don't know how much they can get for him right now. I would hate to see him go just because you see the potential of, man, this guy can hit 35, 40 homers and he walks a bunch, but eventually he has to start producing at the major league level. And hopefully if he has a full season this year of how he played in the second half where he hit, I think he hit 260 with like a 370 on base and slugged over 500, that's a very valuable player. But he needs to do it eventually. And I think this is kind of a telling year right now, especially because I think they're going to go hard after Bryce Harper in the offseason. He'll obviously command a ton of money, but this is a huge offseason or huge season for Kyle Schwarber and his future with the Cubs. I just hope he, plays well. And as for Ian Happ, who I mentioned, he's striking out a ton as well. Hopefully he can get going. He had the big hit on Saturday to give them a lead late in ninth inning, and hopefully that can get him going, but he's been bad too. Zobrist has been great. He was so bad last year. He had a wrist injury. He's put together better swings from the right side this year than he did all of last year. He deserves more playing time over Schwarber, Andy, and Happ. You can put Zobrist out there and left for Schwarber against a tough lefty, and then mix and match with him at second base. Chris Bryant has been really good so far. He just keeps getting better. I mean, you don't even have to worry about him anymore. Wilson Contreras has started to heat up. Jason Hayward's actually hitting the ball pretty well. He just doesn't have the results to show for it, and he's still great out and right, even though he had a couple of misplays the past few days, which is weird. But they are 2 games out. They're 5-4 right now. Obviously, you don't even look at the standings this early, but the very surprising so far, Pittsburgh Pirates come to town with a 2-game lead in the Central. Play at 2:20 Eastern tomorrow, then a night game, and then a day game. So hopefully they can win at least 2 of the 3 at home.
You mentioned Bryce Harper. What do you think about the year he's having so far?
Yeah, he's leading baseball by a wide margin. I think. Does he have 6 homers? I think it's 6.
Yes.
He's been great. The Nationals have struggled a little bit, but he's been awesome.
Ohtani. Thoughts on Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani, he was so bad in the spring. He gave up 9 runs in 2 1/3 innings. He looked like a guy who had never faced professional quality pitching. I think he was 3 for 27 in the spring, but now the season started and he went and had 3 straight games with a homer. One of them was off of Corey Kluber. Then he comes back yesterday and just pitches an absolute gem where he was taking a no-hitter into the 6th. He's been awesome so far. He's been as advertised. The season just needed to start for him and turned it on.
One of the most interesting things I've seen in sports in a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. You get a pitcher who's throws 100 mile an hour, and then he goes out there and he DHs for you, and it's absolute bomb.
I mean, if they were to make the World Series, that could be a huge advantage to pitch him in a National League park.
Yeah, you could pitch him and hit him 5th. It's just crazy. You never need a DH.
Never seen it.
Yeah, never.
We've just never seen it. Now, could this open the door for this happening a ton more in the future, or is he just one of a kind?
Yeah, I think right now he's just a rare case of that because you don't see that coming up because people, especially in college ball, they specialize. You rarely see pitchers who also play the field. I know a guy who went 4th overall to the Tampa Bay Rays last year, Brendan McKay, who played at Louisville. They drafted him as a left-handed pitcher and a first baseman. He's really good at both, so he could be that kind of guy, but it's just so rare in today's baseball. Yep.
Yankees struggling a little bit. They're 5-5. Giancarlo, man, he needs to get going. Yeah. He's got 2 Bronx cheers already at home.
First player in baseball history to have 2 5-strikeout games with no hits in each of those games in Major League history, and it is only April 9th.
Yeah, I'm not worried yet. I'm not one of those guys who gets too worried in April, but not too many fans do. A few fan bases, but I think they'll get it going. But they're having a tough time finishing off games, keeping leads. I mean, they were up 5-1 yesterday. Yeah. Let slip. They were up again the other night against Baltimore. And I mean, they dropped 2 extra inning games. That's frustrating. Didi's playing pretty well, though. He's really the only guy consistently playing well. They've already been bit by the injury bug a little bit, but I think they'll be all right. I'm not too worried. And CeCe's on the 10-day DL with a hip injury.
Who else is on the DL? Brandon Drury. He's on the DL.
Yeah, and of course, Greg Bird's on the DL. He's out for a while.
Yeah.
But Aaron Hicks on the DL.
Right,
well.
he's on the DL.
But I feel like there's one more that I'm forgetting. But it wasn't a good weekend at all for the guys in pinstripes. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about my National League team a little bit. I want your thoughts on the Rockies giving Charlie Blackmon a 6-year extension, but it's all guaranteed to 2021. The last 2 years are player option, but they're player option, not team option.
Yeah, he'll pick those up. I thought it was a terrible deal for the Rockies. I love Charlie Blackmon because he can really hit. Turns 32 here in I think June or July. It's over the summer. One of these. It's good, really good player, but that's a lot of money in a lot of years for a guy getting older.
Well, that's a franchise that just can't afford to let their guys leave.
Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of Tulo, and Nolan's going to be coming up here not too long. They're going to have to pay him a ton, if not overpay him, to keep him.
Yo,
I mean, they can't afford to lose guys like that. But I know what you're saying about Blackmon. He gets some age on him.
Yeah, and he's had some injury issues too.
Yep.
I mean, he's kind of a late bloomer. I think he didn't come up till he was about 27 or become a full-time starting major league player until he was 27 or 28.
He's been the Rockies organization since the beginning.
Yeah, he started his career at Georgia Tech as a pitcher, and then they moved him to the outfield, and he's hit. He can really hit. I think it's kind of course field driven. I mean, all those guys are. You can't hold it against them, though, at all. But, it's not my money, so who am I to tell them how to spend it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really affect you too much.
No, it doesn't.
So, anything else baseball related?
Yes. Did you see the bench clearing issue in St. Louis yesterday?
I read about it, did not see it.
So yesterday, I don't even remember what inning it was, but a Diamondback player got called out on strikes on a ball that crossed at his shins. It was a terrible call. So the manager, Torey Lovullo of the Diamondbacks, kind of argued. Then he got kicked out. So he came out and he was yelling. He was pointing at Yachty and saying, yada, 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 yada. This mother effer, so-and-so. He dropped a couple. And so Yachty took exception and started going after the manager. And the umpires, he's holding them back. But Yachty keeps pushing the umpire out of the way. And you can't do that. But Yachty somehow got to stay in the ball game. Yadier Molina is a punk.
He's not likable.
And for some reason, the Major League Baseball and the umpires coddle him so much. I am really scared because the baseball writers love him so much that he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, and he will be the worst Hall of Famer by a wide margin in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame if he is not suspended for at least 2 games. I'm going to be pretty mad because he was pushing the umpire, physically taking the umpire and moving him out of the way. You can't do that. And he should have been kicked out. For some reason, Major League Baseball loves the Cardinals. They give them a free draft pick called a competitive balance draft pick because they're a small market, even though they win so much. Very, very unlikable franchise. And my favorite thing about the Cubs being good right now is how much Cardinal fans hate it because they absolutely despise it, and it makes me so happy.
I hope you just gave me some beautiful, beautiful material to put on social media.
You're welcome.
And I'm doing it.
You are welcome. I kind of want to talk about the Reds a little bit because it's reaching the depressing part of our
It's like
podcast.
JMV said today. JMV is a guy on ESPN Sports Center 1070, a fan, if you're not familiar with him. He's a big Reds fan. He's already gave up. He just said it's pathetic. It's just I got to thinking, this is gonna give me some trouble, but are they the worst sports franchise that has just won a championship in their history?
Right.
Excluding hockey. We'll talk about the main 3 sports. Have won a championship. Are they the worst right now?
Browns have never won a Super Bowl.
No.
I'd have to see a list of teams that have won just to see.
This didn't go as fun as I was hoping to.
See, I don't know. That's a really.
Are they the worst team in baseball that's won a championship in their past?
Probably. The Tigers are pretty sad. The Marlins they're the saddest.
But
I wasn't even thinking Marlins, but they're a pretty sad case right now. And now they lose probably their, I'm going to say, second best player in Eugenio Suarez to a I think he broke his thumb.
I mean, like Kirk Herbstreit said on Twitter yesterday, how depressing is it when you're a big diehard baseball fan, get pumped for opening day and spring training and pitchers, catchers report, all that, and you've already lost hope 2 weeks in. That's a long rest of the season.
I've been there. It's not fun, but for one, it's great to be pumped about the start of baseball and all that, but you have to have a little bit of expectations in your mind of how they're going to be. And I can't imagine Kirk Herbstreit thought they were going to be.
They look like a 64-win team right now.
They probably are a 64-win team. Their pitching's just meh. They shut the Cubs out, but I don't think they would now. I feel bad for our buddy Andrew Eiler because
Travis Watring.
Yeah, and Watring are so bad. Now that you said Watring, now I have to come up with a bucket. This is great because I completely forgot.
I was just gonna bring it up at the very, very end and put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'll figure something out. But yeah, they're a sad case right now. I think they're better than their record will show on paper anyway. But yeah, they're a sad case of baseball ineptitude right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
White Sox are pretty sad too. Not as sad.
At least they got, I think, some promising days.
Yeah, at least they know.
What they?
So, yep.
NBA's winding down.
Yes, sir.
Playoff picture is getting.
When does the season end?
Well, let me look that up right now. Oh, it's getting close. The East has all 8 teams in the playoffs already locked in. The order's not set, but the West is a cluster right now.
Yeah.
Well, we got games.
I think there's 3 games left.
Wednesday it ends.
It ends Wednesday.
April 11th.
Wow. So who's fighting for these playoff spots in the West?
Well, in the West, you got the Houston's 1 and Golden State's 2. Those are set.
Yes.
Portland's got a 1-game lead over Utah for the 3rd spot. Utah's 4th.
But they're only a game up of the 9 spot.
They're only a game up on the Pelicans, who are 5th, the Spurs, who are 6th, and the Thunder, who are 7th. They're 2 games up on the Timberwolves, who are 8th. But the Timberwolves are tied with the 9-seed Nuggets.
This will be the J-Man's Book-It prediction of the week because I had to come up with a Book-It on the spot. So it's going to be an NBA Book-It.
Hold it a minute. I want to book this one.
The Timberwolves will make the playoffs, and they will make the playoffs.
Timberwolves make the playoffs.
Yes, because they haven't been since, 2002 or 3 or something like that. It's been a while since
they
KG.
traded Garnett, so it's the longest one in the NBA. So you think not only the Bills snap it, but the Timberwolves snap it in the same year?
That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? I didn't even think about that.
And the J-Man's Book Prediction of the Week is sponsored, as always, by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watring. Here is a short little message from Travis himself.
This is Travis Watring with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. I'm a multi-line agent specializing in life, home, renters, auto, business, workers' compensation, and farm insurance. Please contact me at travis.watring@infb.com or at 219-869-4561.
If anybody watches our YouTube feed, because for all the listeners there, we do have a YouTube channel now. So if you want to check it out, Tan and J-Man Show. Subscribe if you want, but we're not going to put a ton of stuff on there, but we have been recording our episodes, but these are uncut and unedited. So you'll see our facial reactions, all kinds of stuff, and it's not professional by any means, but they'll get a kick out of that one because I just blew my eardrum out. How loud that was. Wow. But anyways, back to NBA playoffs.
The Philadelphia 76ers have won 14 straight games.
They're red hot. They
currently are the 3 seed, which means the Cleveland Cavaliers most likely will be the 4 and play your Indiana Pacers.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
They really need Cleveland's 1 game behind Philly.
So when do the playoffs start? Do they start Saturday then?
Well,
Friday or Saturday? Probably Saturday.
I assume it's this weekend.
Yeah. Right now I was thinking there was three games left. April 11th, huh?
Well, if there's 3 games left today, tomorrow, Wednesday.
I thought the Sixers had 3 games left.
Well, let me look at their schedule right now.
Because I thought yesterday they won their 50th game, which would put them at.
They got 2 left. at Atlanta tomorrow and Milwaukee at home on Wednesday.
Oh, they got a back-to-back, huh? Interesting.
And Cleveland, let's see who they play.
And how many games up are these Sixers on
One.
the Cavs? One.
Cleveland's got back-to-back games at the Knicks tonight and the Knicks at home on Wednesday.
And who do the Sixers play?
Atlanta and Milwaukee.
Dang. I mean, Atlanta, I think, is the worst team in the
At Atlanta
East.
and Milwaukee at home.
I wish I would have saved my bucket for this because this is far more interesting than the bucket I had. Who you got getting 3 then?
I got the Sixers. They're not going to lose to the Hawks.
But that'd be 16 straight. I mean, they'd be due.
Pacers only have 1 game left tomorrow. Charlotte at home.
And they're no –
And they just beat Charlotte by 6 yesterday.
They can't get the 4 or the 6, so they're pretty locked into that 5th spot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, they're a game and a half behind Cleveland for the 4th.
Okay.
They've played Cleveland well this year, but historically
they could tie for the 4th then if they win. And, well, I guess Cleveland have to lose out.
Historically, they play Cleveland. They play LeBron tough in the playoffs, but they never beat him. So
this is a different Cavs team, though. I'd say this team's
different
almost
Pacer team too.
Yeah, this team's almost comparable to that team LeBron took back to the finals back with like Mo Williams and Ilgauskas.
So in the West, you think Minnesota gets in? You have them getting 8, or do you have them jumping anybody?
I think they get the 8.
And you think Denver just the outside
Denver is
looking
the
in?
outer.
They have
outsider.
Gary Harris returning tonight. First time he's going to play in 11 games. He's missed with a knee injury.
Did not know that.
In the NBA, any more notes on the NBA? Okay, we had a quick note. Our good buddy Connor Thompson sent in a question. Andrew Luck had a press conference today. He wanted to know, Andrew Luck had a press conference this afternoon saying he still hasn't thrown an official NFL-sized football yet. Should Colt fans be assuming the worst for next year? And real quick, before we do that, I got a little clip of the press conference here from Andrew Luck speaking that I want to play real quick.
Over the past couple of months, 3 or 4 months, and I feel it every week, every day. And if I wasn't making progress, it would freak me out, and I would have to change something, and we'd have to look at other things. But I am, and I wish I could put a sort of fast forward button on and skip these steps, but I know that's totally unrealistic, and at the end of the day wouldn't be good. So I'm feeling better. That's what I trust, and I trust in myself.
And if you didn't know who Andrew Luck was or see the video, you'd think he'd be talking about some like Dungeons and Dragons or talking about accounting or something. That's just how his voice is. No offense, Andrew. I just ripped Andrew again because he's an accountant.
He's a big Andrew Luck fan.
He's a big Andrew Luck fan, yeah.
Anyways, your thoughts on some of Luck's comments there, and should Colt fans be worried?
I think Colts fans should always assume the worst when it comes to Andrew Luck because he is injury prone. Didn't play at all last year, but I don't think the fact
to their own fault for playing him injured for 2 years straight.
I don't think the fact that he hasn't thrown an NFL-sized ball means much now. I mean, there's 5
He
months
is throwing. He's just not an NFL
season.
ball.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't say if it was a football. He is throwing a football of some sort, just not NFL size yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's April 9th.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they should be worried. I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe he won't play week 1, but if I had to lay down a wager as of April 9th, he's playing week 1 behind center for the Colts.
That's I see. I've been on board saying that I don't know if he'll ever throw another pass with the Colts, and I don't really know what to think because he doesn't give you much. I mean, that was such a vague.
If they were that worried,
conference.
they get a quarterback at 6.
Yeah,
and they're not that worried, I don't think.
But it's been. I mean, you don't get any info out of him or the team. No one really knows what's going on. He said nothing right there,
which is really
nothing.
Fine.
Yeah,
I mean, if they know inside. Who cares? Don't give the media nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the media doesn't know. We don't need to know.
But yeah, it is. It has to be frustrating to be a Colts fan for that to be going on.
Yep.
But we're wrapping up the show here. Any Dolphin notes whatsoever? I didn't know if there's anybody that visited them or they're watching anybody or anything because they could trade up and get a quarterback.
My mind is so on baseball.
I know it is. I thought that you might have seen someone Twitter.
NFL. Honestly, It does seem like I saw some. Josh Jackson of Iowa, I know, was going to be there.
Okay.
An Illinois player actually visited there, James Crawford. He's not going to get drafted. He was a defensive end. But
the only Bronco thing I got, they're meeting with all the top quarterbacks. They met with Rosen. They met with Darnold. Met with Josh Allen today, and they're meeting with Baker Mayfield for 2 days this week. I can't tell if they're really all interested in Mayfield, if it's a big smokescreen, because they asked to have him on the Senior Bowl team. They sent 7 scouts to his pro day, and now he's the only quarterback out of the 4 that they're having a 2-day meeting with.
I don't believe any rumor right now.
I know, it's hard.
Any rumor you hear right now is all fake because
it's all smokescreen.
Yep.
So it's hard telling what to believe, what not to believe, but we'll know 2 weeks from Thursday, and we're going Facebook Live at 8 o'clock on April 26th.
That one starts at
8 o'clock. And we're doing picks 1 through 11. As long as one of the 4 teams we talked about a lot don't trade back.
Dolphins are going to trade back to 32. And
well, then.
Yeah, we're not going that far.
Nope. So, I don't have any other NFL notes. One quick Purdue note. Congratulations to sophomore guard Carson Edwards was the Jerry West Award winner for the best shooting guard in the nation on Friday night. Pretty cool. Beat out Grayson Allen and I can't even remember who else.
That guy from Boston College.
Jerome Robinson. I can't remember
somebody else too. He was a good player.
Yeah, there's a couple other good players, and Carson beat him out. So congratulations to him. Isaac Haas was up for the Shaquille O'Neal Award for best center, but he did not get it. So
did Ayton get it?
Yes, he did. So
I can't believe the NCAA actually gave.
Saw Isaac Haas at the spring game Saturday.
It's a large human, isn't he?
Yep. Doesn't have his cast on his elbow anymore. Already got taken off. So
it was about 2 weeks or a week? No, 2 weeks.
Yep.
Too late.
Yep. So he still couldn't have played.
Can't believe that was already 2 weeks ago. That feels like it was just yesterday.
Yep. So went down the spring game. Purdue football don't have too much to report. It was cold. Too many injuries really to evaluate how the players looked.
Spring football is a joke.
They got to go through it. You gotta get repetitions when you can and get some practice. But got anything else before you hit me with Birdie Bogey and then we wrap this thing
I got
up?
a notification on my phone earlier. I don't know the specifics about it, so I don't want to be wrong, but it was a report that 3 unnamed Michigan State players were involved in a rape cover-up in 2015, team that went to the Final Four. So Izzo in some hot water again, and he should just be canned.
Yep. If this comes out true, you got to fire him. Yes. You have to. After all this other stuff that's come out of Michigan State athletics with gymnastics and just all this other stuff, you have to. I don't care if he's
I don't
coach
know
or not.
Why the media doesn't get on him, or he's like an untouchable figure. Yep. No one should be untouchable. Joe Paterno wasn't untouchable.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Birdie Bogey.
Nikola Jokic,
the
Joker had recorded his 15th career triple-double, which is the most all-time by a foreign-born player. Who did he pass on Saturday?
He came back to me during the show.
Ah, shoot.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yes, that's him.
Birdie.
Really,
ESPN Stats and Info on Twitter.
Gosh dang it, that's my main source.
I follow it. So.
That's my main source of trivia for you.
Birdie.
You got one.
I got it. So, J-Man, you want to wrap this up, or are you sending it over to me?
I'll do it. That was the Tan and J-Man show with Tanner Lee and Josh Munt. Streaming on Monday nights on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and now YouTube. Tanner will put some YouTube videos up. We hope to put some funny YouTube videos up like we used to, or videos up, period.
And that's why we've got Instagram now, too.
Yes, we have an Instagram as well, which is at Tan and J-Man Show. The Tan and J-Man Show. Mm-hmm. Also on Twitter, at Tan and J-Man Show. And like us on Facebook, the Tan and J-Man Show. Streaming on Monday nights, SoundCloud, iTunes, and TuneIn Radio, like I already said.
Give us a rating and review, please, on iTunes or Facebook. It really helps us out on iTunes if you do it. It helps us move up in the rankings for podcasts, so please do that.
We'll be back on Monday nights with a whole bunch of baseball and maybe some NBA playoffs, because I still don't know when those start.
And NHL playoffs start this week. My Avs made the 8th seed. Went from the worst team in the league last year
to the worst team in the playoffs.
Hey, they made it. Now they play the 1 seed Nashville Predators. But I'm going to be watching Thursday night. I'm pumped. Should have had my sweater on. I don't, but that's all right. So looking forward to that.
We'll be back on Monday, and Tanner will talk about those Avalanche.
I will. Until then, Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for listening to Rochester's #1 podcast, The Tan and J-Man Show.
Face left you in a bar to try and save face. You can only leave. I'm